Have you ever been in a room where no one raised their voice, no argument broke out, yet the air felt so heavy you caught yourself wondering, what did I do wrong? No accusation, no dramatic exit, just silence that lasted a little too long, eyes that didn't meet yours, messages left unanswered. And suddenly, you were replaying your own memory, scanning every sentence, every small gesture, searching for a mistake that was never named. Silence is not the absence of communication. To the human brain, it is a powerful social signal. We are wired to seek feedback, a nod, a reply, any sign that connection still exists. When feedback disappears, the nervous system does not register neutrality. It registers threat. Being ignored activates the same neural pathways associated with pain and social exclusion. Not physical pain, but an ancient fear, the risk of losing one's place in a relationship. The ego cannot tolerate that uncertainty. It needs meaning, and when meaning is not provided from the outside, it manufactures one internally. Most often, that meaning sounds like this: it must be my fault. This is not a rational conclusion, it is a stabilizing one. Blame gives the mind something to hold on to in an otherwise undefined space. What is uncomfortable to admit is this: silence is not always withdrawal, often it functions as control. No confrontation is required, no justification is necessary. Withholding response is enough to force the other person to carry the emotional weight. The empty space created by silence is not calm. It demands to be filled with anxiety, with self-doubt, with invisible attempts to fix a problem that has not been articulated. The silent person does not need to state their needs. They do not need to make demands. They only need to wait. And while they wait, the balance of power shifts. One side holds the voice. The other absorbs the tension and assumes responsibility for restoring peace. Silent punishment does not require cruelty. It relies on something far more human: the fear of abandonment and the urge to reconnect. Silence becomes a language when words are no longer necessary, not because it is right, but because it works. And what makes it truly dangerous is not the one who withholds speech, but the one who is willing to sacrifice inner stability just to hear a response again. Over time, silence reshapes behavior, not through force, but through anticipation. The person on the receiving end learns quickly. They begin to monitor tone, timing, facial expressions. They try to predict the moment when silence might return, not consciously, automatically. This is how the nervous system adapts. It does not ask what is fair, it asks what reduces risk. Gradually, expression becomes filtered, disagreement is softened, needs are postponed, authenticity is delayed until the environment feels safe again. And safety becomes defined very narrowly: the absence of silence. What looks like maturity from the outside often hides a quiet contraction within. Less honesty, less spontaneity, more calculation. The relationship continues, but on altered terms. The silent treatment is effective because it does not announce itself as punishment. There is no rule to argue against, no statement to refute, only a void. And voids are difficult to resist. They invite interpretation. They invite responsibility. The one who stays silent does not need to justify anything. They remain passive on the surface while the other person does the work, explaining, apologizing, adjusting. Power in this form is not aggressive, it is asymmetric. One side controls access to connection, the other works to regain it. Nothing illegal, nothing explicit, just a dynamic that quietly teaches who must move first. At its core, the silent treatment exposes a fragile truth about human attachment. We do not suffer most from words that hurt. We suffer from the uncertainty of not knowing where we stand. Silence suspends reality. It keeps the relationship in a state of maybe, and the mind will accept almost any internal cost to escape that suspension. This is why silence feels heavier than anger.
Anger still confirms connection. Silence threatens its disappearance. Not because love is gone, but because access to it has been temporarily withheld. And the longer that access is withheld, the more a person is willing to reshape themselves just to restore it. If this dynamic feels familiar, don't rush to name it or resolve it. Just notice what happens inside you when silence appears. What thoughts rush in? What parts of you try to fix the space? Sit with that awareness. If this reflection resonated, share how you see it, not as a verdict, but as an observation. And if you want to continue exploring the unseen forces shaping behavior and power in relationships, follow the channel.